Last week on the Lazy Scrapbooker Under Pressure, I had a date catastrophe where many of my dates in the computer were not accurate. We corrected some and I learned to live with the rest.
Hi, I'm Donna Guest, the Lazy Scrapbooker and Creative Memories Advisor. Join me as I plan, organize, and create a scrapbook celebrating my husband's 25-year career in the fire service, and I've got just 2 months to do it. If you missed the first two episodes, no worries, you can find them on my playlist on my channel called the Lazy Scrapbooker Under Pressure.
Now, let's see what happened this week in episode 3. On your mark, outline, go. On February 10th, I hosted an 11-hour crop for 29 ladies, so I was busy all day. With only 4 hours of sleep the night before my crop, I needed to catch up, but the most I could do was 8:42. Kidding, I went back to bed and slept past noon, and it was everything I thought it could be. Then I caught up on posts for my Fast Page February event. And while I was doing that, my amazing husband unloaded all of my products from my car without me knowing. That's a gift better than jewelry. Now to work on my customer email for our new product release. This makes it a bit difficult. But I tell you what's not getting done today, and that's my album project.
Finally, it is Monday, February the 12th, and it's 9:30 p.m. I am finally getting a chance to start the outline, what I've been waiting to do. So I went upstairs, I got some water, and I will admit I put on a wee bit of lipstick because I look like death. It's funny that as this series gone on, I look progressively worse. So I'm really frightened to see what I'm going to look like on episode 11. Hopefully, really good because I'll be done. But so I've got all my pocket folders here in a storage and display tote. It's a great way to hold them. So they're all in order, starting with $19.99. And I've got a Word document open, so I'm going to do this on the computer so I can move things around and start my outline. My goal is to go through and just find, let's see, different topics that I've already written down that I did in the car last week and go from there. So I'm going to get started with this. When I went upstairs, I also realized I'm wearing the same sweatshirt that I wore in episode 2 at the end. But it's February 12th and there is no time for vanity. All of this just came out of 1999, but that was a big year. So far, so good. This is pretty easy. It's got a natural flow to it, but there was a moment where I could not remember how to spell the word firefighter, so journaling should be very interesting. I found my first entry for You Don't See That Every Day, a truck crashing into a house. So it's not even 10:30 yet, and I've made it from 1999 all the way to 2003. And I think that's going to be a good stopping point because while I could sit here and literally do this all night because I'm having so much fun doing this, I love this kind of thing, I do have to go to bed and get up early in the morning. But I think this is a good place to stop because in 2003, my husband was deployed with the military, and so he did have to take a leave of absence at work for about, I think it was 10 months. So that's going to be I just figured out a nice kind of section change in the album. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of going so chronologically, lump all the fire newspaper articles and calls from 1999 going up to 2003, all those together, and then training, pictures and things like that, and other categories like that, and just kind of have a break at 2003 because he's got some newspaper articles about what he was doing, some goodbye cards from coworkers, things like that. So then when he comes back at the beginning of 2004, we'll start again. So I think this is, once I finish this up, it's a good place to pause. Remember this composite that I found that I knew wouldn't fit in the album? I had a great idea. Now, I knew I could scan it and shrink it and put it in, but it's already so tiny, and I can't read those words even with my glasses on, those names. It's very difficult. So I don't think shrinking this down would be a good idea for this particular thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it right here after it has the words right here. I'm going to trim right here and have this on the left-hand side and this on the right-hand side with room for other stuff. So I'm going to put a Post-it note on that right now so I don't forget that brilliant idea. And I get to start in the morning, but right now it's time to go to bed. Good morning. It's February the 13th, and I'm shirking all of my other responsibilities to work on this today. So I did well last night. I got 5 years out of the 25 years done. So I'm really pleased with that. And those were 5 big years because they were early on. There was a lot of stuff there. So did a good job with that. My outline is going over here. And when I say outline, it's not a proper outline. I don't have Roman numerals or A or 1 or things like that. It's basically just a list with indentions and just different categories and things like that. And I've got things highlighted in yellow to ask Jeff about to clarify some things. So I'm going to keep going on this. I got through 2003 yesterday, and today I will be starting with 2004. I've been working about 30 minutes and I'm already up to 2007, and the dates are never ending. I thought this was amusing. So I've got these pictures of an entry that will go into, you don't see that every day. And it's dated to 12/29/07, but in the paper it's 12/21/07. So I'm going to go with the paper. I have more confidence in the newspaper than I do in the dates on the photos. At this point, I have given up caring about specific dates. It'll all be okay. One thing I'm doing with dates, and it's really working out well, is I'm kind of grouping things like in categories, as I said, and that's what the outline is really helping me do, because as I go through these folders for each year, I'm finding things that I can pull and put together from various years. And in this case, it's like different, golf tournaments they played at work. I'm going to include those. Tours he's given, and the really cute thank you letters and cards from kids. They're so cute. So I can put all those together instead of just making it chronological. There's even one for celebrity encounters. So that's kind of cool, but that can be a couple of pages just by itself instead of splattering those throughout. I think it will have a better impact. I'm 3 hours in, and that does not include my lunch break, but I'm already to 2020 and I can't stop now. I've just got a few more years to go. I literally need to do so much work. I've got a Tuesday tip tonight I haven't decided on. I've got a class to teach tonight that I need to look at, and I really need to do some laundry, but I am so close to the finish line on this outline. I'm going to keep going. And it's so far, I've got 9 pages. I'm almost done. I'm on the last year, and then this guy comes and plops himself down in the middle of everything. After a total of over 4 hours today, and that does include lunch and starting some laundry, I am finished with the outline. All the years are done. I've got 12 pages on a Word document that is very organized. I feel very prepared. As I was doing it, I was thinking of some things. Oh, I didn't print that picture. That would go good in there. Or what if we had this? At some point, you have to cut it off because that could go on forever and you would never get the album done. So I'll go with what I have unless there's anything glaring that's missing. But I know that I can always insert something by inserting a page, because Creative Memories Albums allows you to do that. Or my other favorite thing, Peekaboo Pockets, where you can add a pocket to a page, flips it up. It kind of adds real estate to your album page where you can get a couple more pictures there that you didn't already have. So I know there are options. So even a pocket page at the end if I need to. I know there are options, so I'm just going to go with what I have and not fret over what is not included. Also, the 2 pages that I wrote in the car that day with all the section ideas that we have, I just went through them. Everything is used, everything is accounted for, so I can throw that away. No reason to clutter all my stuff with that. Now my next step is to get with Jeff on the 12 pages of outline to let him look at it and also ask him questions on the things that I have highlighted. And then after that, it'll be time for Power Layout. It's February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I am really excited about what all I got accomplished the last 2 days when I finally got a chance to sit down and work on the project. And I know on February 12th, I said there was no time for vanity, but I've seen the video. There's a little time for vanity. Yesterday, I was able to get with Jeff on the 11-page outline, and he answered all my questions that I had highlighted in yellow and made some suggestions for things to change, remove, that sort of thing. So I feel like super ready to go, but I will say this is a fluid document. It is definitely going to change as I start doing the power layout. So that's where we are now. My favorite part, the power layout. So first, let me show you what I have. I have one of my 3 empty power layout boxes. I have all my power layout guides, and I'm missing some because I've been using these in my storage containers when I sell cardstock. Here's where a lot of them have gone. In these pod inserts, I put a lot of my cardstock in paper packs, and I use some of the power layout guides because they just work perfectly with a label maker. There you go. With a label maker to sort that out. So I've given those up. They'll stay right here. But fortunately, I have more. And so I practically have a store here in my basement. But this is one more pack of power layout guides. You can get these separately for $15, and it comes with a pack of 15 dividers. And if you've watched my power layout video here on YouTube that I did a few years ago, and I'll put that link up here in the right for you, actually it'll be over here in the right for you, it goes through the entire process. But in that video, I show you what I do to double my capacity. So instead of just using those photo-safe plastic guides, I also use album pages for every other page. So I've got 12 by 12 album pages. I just went into my stash. Here's all my loose album pages, and I took the liberty of going ahead and getting another new package of those. The benefit of this is going to double our capacity because think about it, every other page that you plan, you're going to need one of these. Now, I scrapbook on traditional album pages, so please take that into consideration. If you like pocket pages, then it might be best for you just to go with the guides only. Unless you want to mix in some of the pocket pages in there. They're just not as easy, they're not as sturdy as a traditional album page, so they may not be easy to work with. But I'll show you how I lay those out, alternating one of the guides with a scrapbook page for a 2-page spread. On hand, I've also got my storage and display tote where I am holding all of these that I went through. You saw me going through the last 2 days of the outline. So I've got everything in here. Now, if I don't know where something is, the outline has the date on it or the year that it's held in. So if I'm grouping things together from different years, this is going to tell me where to go. And finally over here, I've got all of these patches and things like that. Jeff gave me some that are super thin, which I love because, as you can see, that's not going to take up any thickness in the album. So lots of cool things, one for each station. So all that good stuff's over there, and in the bin I've got the papers that I had saved, and that's what's going to come last when I do the power layout. My first step is getting it all about the photos and the memorabilia, and then embellishments and papers, they'll come later. Another thing you're going to need on hand is a pack of Post-it notes, because these are going to come in so handy if you're missing something, or if you think of, hey, I want to use this punch or this particular paper here, you can make yourself a note and you won't forget it. So I'm opening everything up, so I'll be ready, and I don't know what takes longer, me opening this up without scissors or going to get scissors to open this up. All right, I've got my basement set up for this. I'm going to use the pool table, and I've put 2 5-foot tables over there. It's not going to be enough, so if I want to do everything at once, I'm going to have to use the floor as well, which I always never recommend if you have a pet in the house, and you guys know I have a pet in the house who, as soon as I put stuff on the floor, he's going to come down and check it out. But I'll see what I can do. But I feel like for me, it's really important to do it all at once before I finish, because I want to know how many pages I've got going on. I realize that it's a long shot to get this into one album, so I've made my peace with that. This may have to be 2, but I don't want it to spread over into 3. So I really do want to plan for the number of pages I have. And the number of pages in an album, I used to say 40 sheets, 40 of these. So when you count both sides, that's 80 pages. Creative Memory says we can put 3 packs in. The album will hold that. That would be 48 sheets for 96 pages when you count front and back. The difference, though, is the weight. And another piece of information is that you don't want your album to be more than 8 pounds heavy, and that is just too much for the album, and you'll feel it if it is. So that's kind of hard to plan for. If you use a lot of papers, you want to go on the lower end of the number of pages. So we're going to see how many we can keep this to. So for 2 albums, we're going with, if this is 2 pages right here, 1 and 2, we're going for 160. 80 plus 80 minimum, and then the maximum of that would be closer to 200, but that's getting really, really too big. So let's get started. All right, so the way I'm going to start is I know that I'm going to need a cover page, so I'm going to put that first page down. Now, the next page behind it is going to be the back side of it, so that's where I'm going to use a guide. Then I'll put a guide down. And then the right-hand side is going to be a new scrapbooking page, because I'll need that right here. And then on the left-hand side, it's going to be another guide. And then on the right-hand side, a scrapbooking page. And then we're going to repeat. So again, here we have actual scrapbooking page as the cover page. And then my next 2-page spread has a guide on the left and a scrapbooking page on the right, because that's when you're going to need that page. And repeat, and repeat, and repeat. So I'm going to set those up now, as many as I can. I just had to open another pack of pages. All right, starting on the pool table, here's what I have so far. It goes around, curves around, woo, and then goes up the middle. Then I have this table over here with 8 pages. Then I have this table over here with 8 pages. Then I took to the floor. And so I'm careful, because I know it's going to be here for a little bit, to not get in the traffic patterns, because, you know, people are living here. And so I created just a little spot right here. Thought I had a lot going on. Then go over to this room, and I've got some on the floor in this spare room here. And then I've run out of dividers unless I go buy another set for myself. All of this, I don't know if you counted, but that is, I believe, 73 pages. Only 73 pages. That's not even in one album. So do I want to set this up and keep going and pull out a bunch more pages, or should I get started with the power layout? So do I want to keep going, go past 73, get a bunch more layout guides, get a bunch more pages, and cover up the whole basement and get all of my pages out? Or do I just want to start in with the power layout, because this is a lot? So what do? Just based on the sheer volume, I may have to, for once, not do the whole album as a layout at once and just take my chances. Pretty sure this is going to go past 1 album. Doubt it's going to go past 2, but I know I want to keep it in there. So we'll see. I don't like not knowing. I like to have a plan. I've started with 1999, of course, and this was a big year with lots of photos and newspaper clippings, because this was the first year. So before I put anything on the pages, I just had to sort, because I'll admit I did not do a good job of keeping things in the pocket, sorted in the pocket. It was just all in there, but I do have my outline. So to start, I've just sorted things: recruit, school, graduation, and after graduation as a firefighter, all in 1999. I even just had an idea for some journaling, so I've written that on a Post-it note, and I'm going to put it here, because I swear I'll forget. Oh my gosh, look how much I've done already, and I'm only up to his recruit graduation ceremony. So I'm looking at all these pictures right here are with family after the ceremony. I'm going to have to pare it down. There's just multiples. For example, this picture of me and him, my eyes are closed. That's not going in there, but there's another nice one that I will use. And then, let's see, here's a picture of me and Jeff and his mom. I'm cut off, but then there's a much better picture of just Jeff and his mom. I will definitely use that one. So I just have to be selective here and make sure all of the people are represented, but just not have so many multiples. I just finished doing the power layout for 1999, the first year, and it's 24 pages. Oh boy. So if you're interested in seeing how I got the first 24 pages done for this big year of 1999, first I'm going to start the album with his first professional photo, and I'm thinking I'm going to end it with his last professional photo many, many years later. I think that's appropriate. And then the next 2 pages, I've got newspaper clippings and memorabilia from his recruit school, the training, and more from that. And I just one-off pictures like this, I'm filling in where there's room. And then they have a big, big training burn where they take an old house and they, burn it down so they can train on the ways to do all that and what you're supposed to do. It's pretty much an all-day thing. So lots of pictures from that. And then we go to his graduation, and I've got the program. We got 2 copies because even before I was a scrapbooker, I knew to get 2 copies. And then I've got more pictures from the graduation, and then the family pictures that I pared down. And then over here, we have some general, once he's a firefighter, pictures. I got another copy of that professional shot that's smaller just to start it off. That's kind of crazy, putting the same photo in twice, but it's little. Sets the tone for the next section. And then I've just sorted out different events. Here's a really big fire he was on, where his picture was in the paper. And we go over to this table over here. More from that same fire. He had some 8x10 pictures that I didn't want to get rid of. They looked really good. And then the last page, I came there and I don't know if I'm going to put this here or if I'm going to put it in the section for the museum, the fire museum, because we took our picture there for our Christmas card. And I don't know if it's going to stay or if it's going to go. But there's 24 pages. No papers yet, but 24 pages. So week 3, and that's it for this week. Well, I did not get the power layout completed, but I wasn't sure I was going to get that completed anyway. I'm just so happy that I've started it. That's huge. At this point, I feel like the hard part's been done. The power layout, I love that portion, although I wouldn't call it easy, but I love it. And then the easy part will be the scrapbooking, because this will be a very simple album. I'm not going to get real cutesy with it, of course, because I don't think the subject matter is very cutesy. Of course, I will use those Post-it notes, because if I see something that reminds me of a nice punch that I have, and I have many, I will put a sticky note there to remember to use that. So we're on a roll now. More to come. 1 year down, 24 years to go. It's going to be easy. Got this. I was really worried this week that I was going to have to come to you with a video that lasted 15 seconds and say, I got nothing done. But because I'm doing these videos and because you're watching and I appreciate it so much, I had to get it done. So I made time for it and I've gotten so much done this week. Thank you for supporting me through all of this. Honestly, it is helping me so much to keep on track. Thanks for watching episode 3, and I'll see you guys next week. And next week, I hope to have finished the power layout. We'll see.